Hey everybody, it's your boy SergDragon, and welcome back to another edition of the Heavens Monsters Podcast. It's Wednesday, it's raining, but we're gonna do this anyway since we got time to kill. So, that said, let's go ahead and review September 13th Impact Wrestling show. We start off with the show with a update talking about recap, really. The word is recap on Sami Callihan and Brian Cage going to be fighting 6 weeks prior to that last week, but now it's going to be 5 weeks till Bound for Glory. Also, we have a match tonight, for that night, featuring Tommy Dreamer and Tessa Blanchard fighting against OVE. We would have Moose officially going to fight, I forgot his name. Cam Shamrock, I think his name was. Right? Mm-hmm. Cam or Lee Shamrock? Ken Shamrock. Officially, they will fight at Bound for Glory.
The veteran versus the rookie.
Mm-hmm. Who will tie a fight at Bound for Glory is yet to be said, but they have already said that Rosemary will fight Taya Valkyrie next week for a shot at the title, and many more to come. So here we go. Let's go ahead and talk this out. Starting with the first match of the night, Kiera Hogan versus Talina Dashwood. Rising star, formerly known as
Emma,
thank you.
Emma or you can say they try to change the name to Emma or Emmalina.
Got to. In which case, Kiera Hogan defeated Talina Dashwood. Okay, this is a misprint. Because they say Talina won, but it says here, look at that. Defeated Talina Dashwood.
That's weird.
Somebody messed up. I was about to say, no, she didn't get a win. Yeah. She was on top in the ring. What the heck? We then have a cameo of OVE with the OVE Cam getting pissed. And he's saying, bullshit, with the fact that Brian Cage was not stripped of his title and thus handed to Sami Callihan. And they would say that come Bound for Glory, he is going to take the world heavyweight title. And even he got so upset that when he did this, he said, thumbs up. Bullshit! Dave Chris had to finish it with Madman Fulton in the back already doing the thumbs down, saying, thumbs down. We then have Michael Elgin versus Dinestara. Right?
Dynastia.
Yeah, that's kind of the longest rating. How you say this?
Dynastia.
No, he was a weight class. They called it something. I think the little class, something like that. I want to say junior class. I was like, really? Yeah. It was something else altogether. It was kind of like a reference to short people. I was like, what?
You talking about Cruiserweight? That's what
yeah, the AAA, they had a title. But he went up against Michael Elgin and got wrecked. Trying to live up to the Rey Mysterio kind of style, and nope, didn't do so well. Michael Elgin then issues a challenge to one single person. Mara Fuji. He issued a match at Bound for Glory against Japanese sensation Mara Fuji. I don't know that guy, but from what I hear, he knew him while he was in Japan wrestling. He apparently never got around to fighting him. So now that he's back, apparently, he's going to fight him in a one-on-one match at Bound for Glory.
For the first
5 weeks from now.
For the first time.
Next up, we have Taya Valkyrie in the lair of Rosemary, and she keeps asking, how do people keep getting in here? It's a cave. There's no door. There's just a big hole. But there's wards that would disintegrate you. Yeah. I didn't see none of that when I came in.
Well, they see that the hole is considered a door.
Yeah, no, there's like traps or spirits trying to ward her off. Yeah. That's why she said wards. Yeah. Ultimately, Taya invites her out to a brunch next week. Wanted to have a little sit-down talk. They're saying that there's also going to be a match between them.
And I saw Rosemary at some place playing the classic old school game WWF No Mercy.
Ooh. We also have a meeting cameo with Falaba and TJP telling him that he needs to find his voice for the Philippines. Next, we have Moose saying he's going to walk the main street of Mexico Street next week to prove that Ken Shamrock is the most dangerous man in the world, that he's the most. What the heck? Somebody put this wrong.
He's supposed to be the world's most dangerous man. That's what they call it.
That's what it says.
That's what Ken Shamrock is.
Next week's to prove. He's going to walk the streets. That what the heck? This makes no sense. Moose and Shamrock will meet one-on-one at Bound for Glory.
That's what Ken Shamrock calls himself, the world's most dangerous man.
But they said it wrong, that Moose is going to walk in the streets of Mexico to prove that he's the most dangerous man. They said it wrong. In this site. Next we have, I'm trying to pronounce his name. It's Tejano. It's like Texas with an O at the end. Texan, but it's Tejano Jr. versus Dr. Wagner. Courtesy of this information, Dr. Wagner lost a mask for mask match. When you lose a mask, usually you are to be removed that mask in the ring. And in true luchador culture, you are to never put on another mask. You are to forever live in your shame until you can redeem it. So he's wearing a propped up mask and his voice is low as hell. What the hell happened to his voice? He says, he's trying to speak Spanish. Pokey stops. Here comes another one. I think that was it. And Texaco just rips that mask off, showing his shame once again, and ends up Dr. Wagner Jr. defeats Tejano Jr. in that match. It's more of a AAA match instead of an Impact match. Next, we have Ace Austin makes Alicia, Eddie Edwards' wife, promise him she would stay in the back stage during his match with her husband, Eddie Edwards. I want to skip to this part. Ace Austin versus Eddie Edwards ends in a disqualification thanks to Eddie Edwards using the kendo stick and brutally assaults Ace Austin over and over to the point that he's being tossed in an ambulance, and Alicia is ultimately believing in his lies than her husband, and she goes in the ambulance with Ace Austin, and Eddie Edwards is put in a spot once again where he doesn't know what to do. LAX is packing up the clubhouse when Rick Swann and Willie Mack come into them to challenge them for one more match before they have their big send-offs, and is that they lost to the Agreement to the North for their rematch for the tag team titles. They lost, ultimately betting that if they lost, they would leave Impact Wrestling forever.
Just so everyone know, I'm not a big fan of those tag team belts on Impact. I think they're ugly to me. Mm-hmm. Same thing with the world title.
Rick Swann and Willie Mack are more than happy to have them fight them in as their last match. Mm-hmm. I'm getting all twisted here. And they would say, Ortiz says, I'll drink to that. And even Conan's on board saying his line. hasta la vuelta y después, or how you pronounce it. And Rick Swann is agreeing with Ortiz, saying, I'll drink to that. Me too. Give me some of that.
Some people say that, some of the fans saying they miss Conan wrestle. I agree. I would agree with that too.
Mm-hmm. We would have Father James Mitchell warn Havoc, a promo not talking to her, but sending a message to her through the camera, ultimate warning about Havoc to don't take Su Yung lightly, that she is dangerous. So there will be a match between Su Yung and Havoc, most likely at Bound for Glory, or sooner on Impact Wrestling. Also, we could have covered this last time in the last episode, but Impact Wrestling got the news update saying that they thought about it, rethought about it, reconsidered it, and ladies and gentlemen, Impact Wrestling is going to move to Access TV, where we have not one, not two, but soon to be 3 wrestling programs on Access TV. We would have New Japan Wrestling, Women of Wrestling, aka WOW, and we also have now Impact Wrestling.
No, you got it messed up, bro. It was Access TV that they thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
That they decided just get.
If I said it wrong, that's what I meant to say. That Access TV thought of, or reconsidered it.
Yeah. They finally changed their mind.
Yeah, buddy.
Even though, like, I understand is WWE does not consider them as competition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Jimmy Jacobs interviews Brian Cage and Melissa Santos to congratulate them on their engagement last week. Melissa reveals that they're getting married in 2 weeks. So after they get married, they're already married. We saw that on Instagram. Mm-hmm. And they also have a baby. I didn't know they have a baby. They had a little girl.
Yeah, they did.
I saw that on Brian Cage Instagram. Sanama. And Melissa Santos is sending that. She had the camera phone. So she was showing her baby and a little toy of her dad.
Yeah. They had their kid. They just wasn't ready for to put her on social media yet.
Until they were officially married and officially together. So now their stage marriage, not their official marriage, they're already married by law. But their stage marriage, their performance marriage, will be happening in 2 weeks. So counting this Friday and next Friday will be, not this Friday, the next following week will be when they get married. In which case, don't be surprised after hearing this info that OVE, mainly Sami Callihan, is going to crash the wedding. Oh boy. Then from there, it will be 3 weeks to Bound for Glory from there. So that's just premonitions.
But some couples will be like, we normally don't do this or do that or do that, but here you go.
Mm-hmm. We would have a AAA match again, this time featuring the opponent of Taya Valkyrie in her longest reigning title match would be Big Mommy and Nito Hamburgers. I can't pronounce that. Apparently, in description, it's Big Boy who loves burgers, who eats burgers.
Hamburger son.
Yeah. Versus the Dizzy Hit Squad. Desi Hit Squad. Ultimately, in humiliation, Big Mommy and Nito Hamburgers end up winning the match, and the Desi Hit Squad end up having to the rescue. I don't know if they were being assaulted, but I guess somebody jumped. The other two, they got jumped. Everybody in the ring got jumped by one individual who was huge, and then we would realize that none other
Mojave Shira.
Yeah, Mojave Shira makes a big return to Impact Wrestling, bowing down to Gama Singh. So now, Desi Hit Squad has a new member with the Hindi-Indian culture of the Middle East with the return
of Mojave Shira.
Mm-hmm. We then have Sami Callihan and X Division champion Jake Chris. Yeah, me with the Jack. confusing. Versus Tessa Blanchard and Tommy Dreamer in a straight fight match. That match would go on to one of the most legendary fights to date in this era for hardcore matches. It was beautiful. They went all out. The only thing they didn't have was thumbtacks, and Lego blocks. Otherwise, the match was beautiful. One thing though, cause you expected this to happen, that ruined it, was Dave Chris and Madman Fulton ultimately interfered in the match, giving Sami Callihan and Jake Chris the win. They would then to assault Tommy Dreamer and Tessa Blanchard until you hear Rhino's music coming out, as well as behind him is RVD showing off once again the crew of the ECW. And you know, originators, because the crowd was screaming ECW, ECW. And they would ultimately stand tall. Ah, that's who got jumped. I was wondering who got jumped. It wasn't Big Mommy and her partner. It was none other than the Deaners, because they were there to back them up and tell them how to wrestle. But it would be Mahali Shira who would actually jump them and slam them both, showing his size is bigger than cousin Diener. So here is the page for the men who and woman who stood tall in the ring after their fight with OVE.
I would say team.
Yeah. Men and women. I would say the men who stood up, but then I forgot Tessa Blanchard for a second.
No, but you could say team though instead.
Yeah. Well, they weren't all a team. It was just a tag team of two, and then they all stand together. Yeah. So that said, ladies and gentlemen, what final thoughts? What was your final thoughts on this info?
I did. I'm glad to see Ken Shamrock is back in professional wrestling. It's been for over 15 years for him.
Mm-hmm. Any more? Anything else to mention?
I like RVD.
He's still wrestling.
Yeah.
All right then. If that's it, that's it. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be ending this video at that note. You like this video? Give it a thumbs up. You didn't? Give it a thumbs down. Hit that subscribe button right there if you like the content, and hit that notification bell for the next Heaven Monsters podcast. Before we end this video, I have almost forgot. We got to give a shout out to our remaining Heaven Monsters podcast crew. We would be Xavier Hill, Mike Henry, Andre Mitchell, and link to their YouTube pages will be in the descriptions down below. And a remaining shout out to Renee, Farrell, Chris Petrie, and Delvin. With that said, peace out, everybody.
Bye.